Okay, S-Talk forum. I want you guys to help out here, see if you can figure out why I'm making such an unholy mess of this operation. The deal was I wanted to just clean off my brake disc or the pistons, so I've done that. I had this apart enough to do that, and I am having just a real fun time getting everything put back together. I had the axle run through and the caliper hanger installed, the nut over on this side, and it was all looking good, but I could not get my pin pad or the pin bolt to thread in. It would only thread in partially, and then it would stop as if it were running into the front end of this inner brake pad. It seemed like maybe it wasn't lined up properly, but I took pictures and did the front and inside outside look. Everything looked lined up. So anyway, I'm going to pause this just a moment and continue. One of my main bugbears here is this pin keeps coming out where the hanger carrier attaches to the caliper. So I'm going to pause this and see if I can show you in my futile efforts how not to do this. Maybe you guys can chime in. All right, pausing here. All right, so see if I can even get out of my own way here. All right, so the deal ought to be as simple as installing the brake pads in their proper orientation, making sure the tab is in the front of the carrier, and of course the springs on top, and then simply move this carrier hanger back down, run the axle through, then you put in a stop bolt up this way, and then you put in the pin pad, the brake, I forgot what it's called, the pin pad. I'll show you. So anyway, then this goes back in here, and this is where I had a problem because it would thread partially and then it would just bind. I didn't want to strip anything, so I just took that back out, pushed the axle back out, and tried to commence. So let's see what I can do, if I can get around the camera and even work in here now. So first thing is, let's get the brake pads lined up in their proper orientation. And then try to run the axle through. I don't want to knock the camera over, otherwise the video would be pointless, although we do have a pretty sky for you to look at today. And as you can see, the silencer pad and the actual brake pad itself keeps coming out of the backers. I've considered gluing them, but I don't think that should be necessary, because once they're installed and oriented properly, then they should remain there by pressure. So wonder if maybe I need to put in the pin stopper bolt, not the stopper bolt, the pin pad bolt in there before I put the axle through again. Maybe I'll try it that way, because we know what the definition of insanity is. Let's try that. Where to go? Alright, obviously before this goes back in, it has to be lined up, and before I can line it up, I need to make sure the brake pads are all the way to the top. I have not depressed the brake pedal yet, because I want to give myself all the room I can to maneuver this. So I'm going to get the caliper lined up with my carrier or hanger. I'm not sure what the aluminum piece is called. I haven't read the manual in about 30 minutes. But see if maybe that's the way to do it. And I'm concerned that every time I jostle the brake caliper that my pads are going to fall out of line again. Now I can't seem to get this pin bolt back in line with my carrier. Come on. So there's a struggle. There go the brake pads, right? I think I heard them fall down. Nope, they seem to be still attached. Now, I know there's a rubber boot on the other side, so I can't just go manhandling this thing with, there we go. Right. I did this opposite a while ago. I actually put this brake stopper bolt over here first. All right, let's see if this will do me any good. Starting to run into some resistance now. Right here. Shouldn't be this tight because I still have a good ½ inch of threads exposed, and I know this needs to fit flush. I don't feel like it should be this difficult at this point with this much of the threads exposed. Well, at least the brake pads are not falling down. I haven't put any thread blocker or anything on this. I know that it needs to be torqued, but I just don't feel comfortable really putting a lot of force on this. This should go more easily in my mind. Let's see the carrier, this aluminum piece is not moving at all. And it should, because I haven't locked it into the I haven't locked in the stop bolt yet. I'm going to back off. So this is my dilemma. Where am I going wrong? What is a better sequence for doing this? So if I went ahead and ran the axle through to stabilize this carrier, the aluminum carrier arm, I'm still going to run into the same thing. See, this is so much easier coming out. I just washed my hands. I can't do a thing with them. All right, but it's virtually finger loose, finger tight. Virtually. I just feel like, actually, it feels like the bolt out. Okay, and it did come out. So where is this going wrong? We're in through the rubber bushing back on the carrier arm, this part here, but it really just doesn't want to tighten for me. So this is pretty much in alignment. So see, it goes in properly there. Let me look on the other side and see if I can determine whether the inner brake pad is jamming up somewhere. Yep, that's the problem. The inner brake pad has fallen down. So this time I can see it. Earlier I did not have that issue. The brake pads were staying properly aligned. This probably ought to just about pull out. I don't believe it's threaded at this point. There we go. So the inner brake pad is definitely getting out of place. Just go back. This looks, this pin pad here in the rearmost position, it looks like it's scored, but it is not. It actually is quite smooth. Okay, so that pad is aligned again. So now, can I get the pin? Wish I remembered the proper name for this, guys. I apologize for that. Well, I go far. Mr. Larry out there in Arizona is probably laughing his butt off, saying, "What a clown. I try and try and teach these people and they just won't listen." And now it's as if the caliper's not lining up with my caliper hanger. There's an aluminum piece here. That's the major malfunction. Check the other pad again. It has fallen down again. Okay, that's part of the reason for sure. Take this bolt pin out. Pushing them back in position. And once it fall down again. Carrier, carrier and the caliper seem to be aligned. Things are not always as they appear. I sure don't want to crud up that rubber bushing there on the carrier. Blow that out. So again, the question, do I need to stabilize this carrier or this hanger? Do I need to immobilize that? That's the question. Is it the pad that's keeping the carrier from coming forward enough or rearward enough? It looks like I'm off just a fraction of an inch lining up my caliper mounting hole here behind the hose to the actual boot there in the hanger. And the pad's falling down again. Why? Why so difficult? Why so difficult? Using just a flat-headed screwdriver just to try to lift up on the brake pad. That should do it. Should. Now I know that there are those of you watching this that could have had this done 5 minutes ago. Okay, now it's lined up. Now it goes all the way into the threads. I still see a rubber boot back there, so I haven't killed it yet. Let me check the brake pad on the other side once more. Seems like it should work. It does seem that way. Until here. Curses! Foiled again. Now that should not be that much resistance when I still have ½ inch of threads left. Check the pads. Is that it? Pad seems to be actually in the right place. So there's my dilemma. I'm not going to torture you guys anymore with this. Ideas are welcome. Thank you very much. Saddle sore, frustrated and confused.